The daily commute on the Julian R. Hunt section of the Gros Islet Road from the Choc roundabout to Gros Islet can be an arduous experience. Every week, especially on Saturdays, the thoroughfare is gridlocked with bumper-to-bumper traffic. There is brewing frustration among the traveling public who have to endure the long commute. The overall project has been stalled since 2016, with the previous administration opting to patch up the byways and beginning work in the Bay Area in 2020. Even the Rodney Bay expansion has roiled some members of the public. Back in 2021, Minister for Infrastructure Stephenson King stated that alleged irregularities with the project started by the previous UWP administration warranted further review. Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire addressed the issue at the latest weekly press conference.
A tender has gone out to get, costings for us to resurface that stretch of the road. But the bigger issue for us really is the state of the road between, when I say state in terms of the capacity of the road, from Choc all the way up to Rodney Bay, like you said. Now you'd remember the last government undertook a project. It's one of the worst projects ever conceived in the history of St. Lucia. And I don't want to say too much about it because it will be the subject of review at the right time, where the two roundabouts were being built, walkways were built that now above people's homes, and it's a disaster up north, especially in the Rodney Bay entrance areas.
Hilaire also cites alleged logistical shortcomings on the watch of the former UWP government for the continued delays in restarting the Rodney Bay Road, insisting that it is important that the current administration go by the book.
Nobody can give you the plans for it. Nobody can give you the costings for it. The amount of money that has been stated, that has been spent on that project itself will become a matter for review. And that has been stopped because it is under review by this government.
Some proponents of the SLP administration argue that the people of St. Lucia by now would have had a 4-lane highway stretching from Choc to Gros Islet were it not for the 2016 decision by the previous UWP government to sideline the proposed Kuwaiti government-funded project. Members of the incumbent argue because of the ill-advised move, the country has to go back to square one in a now fiscally tight environment riven by the pandemic, inflation, and supply chain woes.
The Kuwaitis have re-engaged us. The Kuwaitis have now asked to do new feasibility studies because you can imagine it was designed 2014, 2015. And costings were done then, so everything has to be done over again. The feasibility, the costing, what are the new land prices, and everything has changed a bit. So that is being concluded now, the redesigning of the road, the costings, the feasibility, with a view to the Kuwaiti project coming back on stream, and the Castries to Gros Islet Highway being completed once and for all.
So when can road users expect to see movement on the overall highway and more immediately the Rodney Bay section? Hilaire says the outcome of the technical audit could prove instructive. Sola Alfred, HCS News Force.